Hi everyone, it's 6:45 and this is your closing comment for Monday the 22nd, and it is video number 1032. I'm just going to say that I'm going to try and keep this shorter. Maybe more people will take the time to watch it. Today was one of the ugliest days I have ever seen. I know that a lot of us are desensitized to the degree to which stocks move in a day. But today was an incredible outlier. First of all, we made new highs and then collapsed out of them. The New York was up 1726, which is less than 5 basis points. Advanced declines were 6 to 5 to the downside. Volume was 2 to 1 to the downside. And we closed pretty much on the low. The NASDAQ was even worse. It tried to rally this morning and was successful, and then at the end of the day just absolutely collapsed. I mean, it was down from the rally this morning, and I'll use the numbers for the Qs. We closed yesterday at 405 and change. We got up to 408 and change, and then turned down and went to about 401, which in and of itself was not really terrible. With the way that the market has run up, it's not surprising that we could have a little bit of a blow off. What I didn't like was the fact that it rallied back up to just under unchanged. Actually went back into the green for a few minutes and then collapsed again to a new low of the day. And it broke 400, closed 398 and change, currently trading 399. And I'll show you that in a minute. But volume was 2 to 1 to the downside. Advanced declines were 2 to 1 to the downside. Volume was 3 to 2 to the downside. And there were 554 new lows. Volume on the exchange was 5.4 billion. That's about average. Another one that was somewhat disturbing, we've had so much trouble closing solidly above 4,700 in the S&P, and I looked at it this morning and said, oh geez, it's 47.45. Clearly it will close up on the day today solidly above 4,700. Well, didn't happen. It ended up closing down 1502 and pretty close to the low, and that was in the neighborhood of 4682.94. So that was within 80 cents of the low and 55 off the high. That is a big move. The Russell down 1181, 0.5%. The only one that was up today was the transports. It was up 221, or 1.34%, and the VIX was 1917, up 126 or 7%. I'm not going to go into a lot of talk about these stocks, but I just want to remind you that these are not normal markets. When you have Facebook or Meta platforms closing at 345 on Friday, trading up to 354 this morning, and then collapsing $14 back down to 340, that is treacherous. And then we have Zoom. Zoom closed the day today 242.28, down 902. Had earnings after the close, which beat. Revenue growth was good, but volume was only not volume. earnings were actually only up a couple of cents. I think it was 111 versus 109. But the stock still took off, ran straight up $22 to 264.22, at which point it turned back down and went from 264 to 225 and a half. So almost a $40 drop on a beat. This is something that I've mentioned repeatedly. When stocks have good news and bad action, that is a problem. Zoom right now, 226.66, down $24.64 or 9.7%. And one that I want to remind everyone, I talked about it on Thursday, I talked about it on Friday. I explained that it was not a meme stock, it was a valid biopharma company with a treatment for a congenital heart issue in infants. I discussed it when it was 8 up 4. I discussed it when it was 10 up another 2. Today it hit 45.50. The last is 34, and that's up $23.99 or 240%. Again, not a meme stock, a solid medical breakthrough company that has now gone from $2.92 last Wednesday to $45, closing, as I said, $34. The gold got crushed today. It is difficult to miss. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me because both Brainerd and Powell are both fairly dovish, and you can be sure that Biden's going to put 3 more very dovish people on the board. And so, I don't really see a reason. I told you this morning that I was concerned because we came down out of that consolidation that looked so good and that we were lower this morning. Well, we traded from 850 all the way down to 1802. Closed 1806, down $45. We're up a couple of dollars tonight, $2.70. We bought the GDX, which are the gold miners, today. I had an order in under the market. It was filled at the close. We bought the regular December 34 calls for 65 cents. Oil had an up day for the first time in quite a while. And tonight you can see it's up another, it was up a little more. It's down 24 cents, which is certainly nothing overwhelming. Silver down a little after being down hard today, not as bad as the gold, but down. And the dollar had a monster of a day, again, up 51 cents. This is pretty substantial. And you would think with the doves in control that we would probably see a little bit of weakness there, but no chance. Bitcoin down another 2,000 to 55,815. Tonight it is up 460, certainly not much, but it and Ethereum are both coming into some pretty important support. The Bitcoin is trading just on this orange line, which is the 50-day MA. It's also come down to the same area that it consolidated in the last time before breaking to the upside. So we'll have to see how that works out. Ethereum, I believe, might be technically a little bit stronger, not down anywhere near as much on a percentage basis, but lower. And it is still in that consolidation that the Bitcoin came out of to the downside. As you can see, the 5 crossed through the 20 on the downside, but we are right at support. The last support since it broke out and made a new all-time high. So that one is a little bit stronger. The bonds were down $1.50, and tonight they are up 3/32. So Nothing meaningful. All right, everyone, have a good evening. I'll be back in the morning. And you really have to be careful out there. Keep position sizes appropriate.